Thank you for staying with us. It's cheering and sad news in our battle with armed banditry across Nigeria in the last few hours. In Zamfara State, bandits released 75 abducted students of Government Day Secondary School, Kaya, in Maradun local government area of the state after 13 days in captivity. In a sad tale, armed bandits attacked a military base in the state, leaving 12 gallant security personnel dead and 3 wounded. Babajide is still a big challenge in spite of the onslaughts against them, in spite of the heartwarming stories we've been hearing about, our security men trying to forestall the menace of these bandits. They are still operating actively in some other states and even particularly Zamfara State.
Yes, and we've been advising the military to keep their eyes on the ball, to stay focused, to not jubilate too early, because we have this attitude of jubilating too early. And from our experience with Boko Haram elements, sometimes when we think that we've decimated them, that we defeated them, somehow they will launch one terrible attack on our troops, which will send the message that, look, these guys are still up to some level of mischief. So even yesterday, I was saying that, look, the best thing, let's encourage the troops to stay focused, keep their eyes on the ball. Let's stop thinking that these guys have been defeated. Let's behave like the war has just begun. A lot of us Nigerians were very excitable. But in this kind of war, let's not deceive ourselves. There will be setbacks. You can't win this war without setbacks. The enemy that you are fighting against will not simply fold his arms. They will also take the battle to you. And let's not imagine that because we have recorded some successes, then this enemy has no way of responding or fighting back. No. We keep making this mistake. But,
attacking military bases in Zamfara is quite daring. Killing 12 people.
But it's not the first time. Even in Katsina, they've attacked soldiers before. I always talk about that attack in Shimfida, where they killed 18 soldiers, including a captain. This is not unheard of. Bandits attacking the military is not unheard of. It's happened in the past. Because they have the weapons. When you look at some of the weapons that they have, even some of those weapons, our soldiers don't even carry some of the grade of weapons that you see in their hands. Some NATO weapons that came into our country through Chad and Niger, all the way from Mali. You will even see NATO written on some of them. And some of them are even advanced grade of some of the weapons that the Nigerian army uses. That just came into our country all the way from Libya, which has extensive border with Niger Republic, and then Chad. So with those countries, especially Niger, that we have extensive borders with, almost 900 kilometers. You can imagine that our border being porous, these weapons will come in. Some of them are really superior weapons. Let's tell ourselves the truth. So, and when you have those weapons, it tends to give you confidence to take on anyone. So this is not the first time that soldiers will be killed. Even in Gwari, Google it. You see when they killed Nigerian soldiers in their sleep on a particular day. In Niger, they've attacked army bases before, 2 times. Even set the army bases ablaze. So it's not as if these bandits don't have the capability to take on the army. Let nobody deceive himself. And it's not the first time. It's not new, and it will not be the last. But we have to stay focused. Let's not begin to jubilate like, look, the enemy has been defeated. I've heard people say, oh, the way we are going, within 3 days, we are going to crush these guys. But in that area where this attack happened, it happened in the Dansadao area. The most dangerous forest in our country is in Dansadao. And this is the same area where they shot down the Alpha Jet. It is a Maru local government. Maru local government is one of the biggest local governments in Nigeria. In fact, when I was checking, I saw that it is 6,654 square kilometers, which means that that local government is bigger than all the states in the southeast except Enugu State. That's one local government, and the bulk of it is forest. So when you are chasing them, they have an expansive area within which they can hide and all that. So this is a battle that you cannot win quickly. You just have to be focused, be patient. Let's focus on what we are doing and not be distracted. That is just my message to the armed forces.
Mayor Akinpelu, in Kogi State, 240 inmates that men stormed the Kaba Custodial Center, but investigation are still into, 240 inmates were said to be forcibly released and they invaded that place. Knowing Kogi State, that's a state that borders so many other states, that they have a track record for, a state being a state that you hardly hear of banditry invasion, Boko Haram cells, that the governor has been quite proactive.
Let me say that before now, Kogi State was very terrible when it comes to security. I remember the time that I went for a party in Moba. I have to go with policemen. It was that bad. Kidnapping was very high in Kogi State. But one thing you have to give to Yaya Bello is that he was able to put a security architecture in place that was able to control that insecurity. The level of insecurity in Kogi is not like what you see in Niger or what you see in Kaduna.
It's part of the location of Kogi.
So whatever, he was able to put a security architecture in place. So I think that the attack is more like sabotage. It's like some people who wants to prove a point. Because I cannot fathom the reason for going to Kogi to go and attack the correctional center. I can understand when you want to attack a correctional center, whether maybe Boko Haram elements are being detained in that particular place, and Boko Haram soldiers want to attack the place so that they can release their men. I can understand when at the height of hypop municipality in the east, yes, they could attack correctional centers to prove a point. I cannot understand why anybody will want to attack Kogi Correctional Center. If not that is why this government has to be very careful. It seems that it's a third force that seems to create problem for government. I think because when you look at what has happened, when you look at what happened, the army base that was attacked, you will see that the idea is to water down whatever achievements the military were able to do in Zamfara. Because in recent days, we'll be hearing a lot of the operation that's going there, how things were moving on well. And all of a sudden, though I believe that operationally, the military made a mistake. Because if you know that this is an area where an Alpha Jet was shot down, you cannot have an outpost that can be easily overrun like that. I think it's an operational mistake. Because the essence of the outpost is supposed to be your first line of defense. And for you to allow bandits who are being attacked, who have been having losses days, to be able to come and make that statement, because that is a major statement for the bandits, to say, look, we still have the capability to hurt him. And I think it's an operational mistake by the military.
Julie, still talking about this Kogi Kaba prison attack. What do you make of it?
It's not the first time that government will go to Kogi State and free prisoners. It's happened a number of times. The bloodiest that I remember was on November 3rd, 2014, when they went to Kotonkarfi to free 144 prisoners. What bandits and terrorists do is, if they have some of their men in your custody and they study the security environment, they will go there and free people. Kotonkarfi prison has been attacked a number of times. You know, there was a time that Boko Haram had active cells in Kogi State. This governor had to fight the active cells, even in his own Kogi Central. That's Ibira land, because it was the heartbeat of it. And then because Kogi shares border with Nasarawa in the Abaji area. That is the most dangerous local government in Kogi State. So many attacks. There was a general that was killed recently on his way to Abuja. That is the, if you look at the record of banditry in Kogi, it is that this Kotonkarfi Abaji area, that is where most of these attacks happen. The bulk of banditry in Kogi happens in that area. And now what I heard was that they moved some prisoners from Kotonkarfi prison to the Kaba. Between Kaba and Kebukun. And then clearly they wanted to free their colleagues who are there. And when you have weapons and you've done some reconnaissance, you can tell yourself that, look, if I have 50 people who are well armed, we can overrun this place. And that's what happened. So Kogi remains a kind of tinderbox. We have not defeated banditry in Kogi State. Some of the recent events will now tell everyone that, look, as much as the governor is trying his best, it is still a big problem. Along the border with Edo State, for example, the Akoko Edo area, the Auchi area, a lot of banditry still taking place. And then our border with Niger, Kogi's border with Nasarawa State, that's the most problematic area. The governor even had to build a road leading into the den of bandits in Nasarawa State so that security men will be able to have access to their camp. They'll be able to move into that state. He has had to move into neighboring states to tackle bandits who will not give people rest in Kogi State. So that Nasarawa, the border with Nasarawa, there's a big problem with, and this Kotonkarfi area that's around where we have that boundary. So my suspicion, after I heard what happened today, is that the movement of some of the prisoners from Kotonkarfi prison to Kaba was what prompted them to go there and free some of their men. They've done that. It's not the first time that they've done that in Kogi State. As I have said, it just means that, look, we still have a long way to go with defeating these guys. All the talk about, in 3 days we'll finish this war, is only people who are not familiar with this kind of war that will be saying all of those things. I've heard people post that, we've not had any banditry in Zamfara for the past also. They say lie. Even as they were being attacked in Katsina and in Zamfara, they were still picking people. They are still kidnapping people. So we still have a long way to go. Let's just tell ourselves that this is a long battle ahead for us. But we should be focused on defeating the enemy. That should be our focus.
I'm sure they said they've captured like 100 of those
yes, I think the governor was able to initiate some strategy between the DSS, the army, and the commissioner of police there, and then in accordance with, along with local vigilante groups and hunters and all that, and I learned that they have succeeded in capturing over 100 prisoners who are back. And I'm sure that very soon they will still be able to get more, because when you are released like that as a prisoner and you have not planned for it, except you are a part of the group that came to free you, who will now take you back to wherever base they came from. You are helpless. You'll be in the prison for a long time. You may not even be
very vulnerable.
Yes,
most of them would like to come back.
Yeah, may not be in that.
They want to come back.
Yes,
to the prison.
So it's difficult for them.
Maybe you are serving a term and you have almost finished your term, and someone just comes, they free you, and know that no, you want to finish your term, because it is a separate offense when you jump, you do jailbreak. So they will come back. They have nowhere to go for a lot of them. But the people came to free them. They were targeting their own
hardened ones.
It's those ones that they are targeting. Those ones won't come back.
I have Debo is calling us from Ogun State. Thank you for staying with us, Debo.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening, Deba.
Please, two things. I want to beg Kolade Ochitoju to please stop differentiating between Boko Haram elements and bandits. The difference between them is the difference between 6 and half a dozen. Boko Haram does not have any ideology that is different from bandits. The ideology is just ideology of bloodletting, and that is just the fact. You know, I can even hear him using them interchangeably. So I think banditry is an euphemism for terrorism. They are just the same. That is one. Secondly, what baffles me is that why did the government of this country wait till things get bad? Now they are now deploying, massively, deploying men, deploying machines. Why did we have to wait? What were they waiting for to happen before they now woke up too late?
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution.
Nigerians are so obsessed.
They want you to because they kill because they don't want you to differentiate it. They want to just lump them together.
There's a difference between bandits and Boko Haram.
I don't understand. And it is.
We said it yesterday.
Someone came. A journalist came on this program, and I challenged the journalist to read out the dictionary meaning of a bandit and that of a terrorist. What is the ideology of Dogo Gide? He has no ideology. We're just making money. There is no terrorist group.
They don't want to take territories. They want
to make money.
Those bandits in the northwest, they have dozens of groups, disparate groups here and there. Terrorists don't operate like that. They don't operate like that. Disparate groups with their leader.
Terrorists have an ideology.
They have an ideology
that they are fighting for.
You see, the way Nigerians are thinking is, because they have the weapons to bring down the plane, then they must be a terrorist group. No, that is not the thing, and you cannot. You
can't change it.
You can't change it.
The mistake people are making is that it is easy for you to buy equipment from Libya.
Yes.
If you have the money to be able to buy, so yes. You can have a surface-to-air missile. You can buy it and you can bring down a jet.
Mayor, during the Gulf War, a farmer, he was on his farm and he shot down an American helicopter. Farmer, with an AK-47, you can bring down an aircraft. If you fire, if it's flying low and it hits the right place, maybe where there's no thick armor, it will come down. You can bring down a plane with an AK-47, and every individual with some level of weapons handling training can use an AK-47.
Address that now. Now, Boko Haram, the difference between Boko Haram and this bandits.
It's ideology.
It's ideology. A terrorist group has a mission, has a mission and an ideology. And most terrorist groups, they are not motivated by the desire to make money.
No.
The terrorist group, the Muslim fundamentalist group of Algeria, that won election and they were not allowed to take power. They became a terrorist group immediately. They were beheading people. They are not after money. They will not kidnap you to take money from you.
In fact, why they got involved?
Yes.
Why they got involved in a form of criminal was because they needed to raise funds. They needed to raise funds to do those things. To do the identity that they were pursuing. So they started doing some other things.
Boko Haram will kidnap.
Yeah, Boko Haram started doing that.
Boko Haram will kidnap for money.
Yes, for them to be able to make money.
Yes. They needed the money to buy weapons and all that.
But bandits are different
they've not. Their ideology is still there.
They want to split their Islamic Republic and
that's an idea. Yes, they believe that this is
by Sharia.
Sharia. Yes. They want to have their own territory.
Whether in Somalia and other places where we have terrorist groups, there is an ideology behind the ISIS. You can't tell me the ISIS has not got ideology, or the ISIS is simply there to make money. No, when ISIS took over,
you cannot say that the Taliban don't have ideology. They have an ideology.
Yes,
they want to like that.
They said this is the Islamic
Republic of Afghanistan.
Yes.
So
and they are focused on Islamic rule. They are focused. Women who should not work.
Islamic rules.
You cut your beard. So there are so many people, but they want us to simply because they can bring down a plane. No, I told them, I said, because they are wicked, they kill people. Armed robbers too are wicked. So armed robbers, terrorists. It is the motivation. It is the thing by which you are identified that determines how a group is characterized. I don't understand. On Facebook, people attack me.
We continue to enlighten people.
If today you want me to simply say, oh, they are terrorists, it revolts against my training as someone who went to school, who can read and understand whatever he reads. To call a bandit a terrorist, I will not. With a gun to my neck, as long as that's the definition for it, I challenge the person. I say, open the dictionary, let's read it to people.
Now, Governor El-Rufai appeals for calm over killing of a pastor in Zango Kataf local government area of Kaduna State. That's another volatile area.
I don't know what government is going to do in that area, because the problem in that place seems not to abate. But it is better for us to face bandits than to add religious dimension to it, because immediately there's a religious dimension to it, there's a major problem. There's a major problem. So I also want to appeal to people not to want to take revenge, because you can handle bandits, but when it becomes a religious or disagreement, people don't think about it. It's they are more emotional when it comes to religion, and we should not add that to the mix in Kaduna State.
Babajide, we still have to talk about this 75 abducted students who, thank God, 13 days after in captivity, they've been released, and it's a relief. It's a big relief. UNICEF even reacted and saying that, look, this is a big setback when they were when they were abducted.
You can see them. The governor was talking to them last night.
Oh, Governor Matawale.
Yes.
Last night.
Yes. He said what we must do is to stop them from to stop these people from having access to these children. If there are schools in the hinterland, just close those schools.
Just close those schools.
Move the children. That's what Borno State has done.
More and more difficult.
When did you read that in Borno State students were kidnapped since Chibok? That's why the governor is building giant schools with dozens of classrooms to accommodate those who can no longer go to school in the hinterland. That is the thing. The safety of these children is important.
These are very small girls.
Yes, boys and girls. They just went, the governor wept. And this is his local government. Maradun is his local government. It's one of the most dangerous local governments in Zamfara. You know?
These are kids.
That's the thing.
In the last 13 days.
They would have gone through hell.
What would they eat? The bandits, they don't even have food to eat.
They
take drugs.
They too don't have access to food now. But you know, once we relax a little bit, then they will feel some level of respite. They will start stockpiling again. That's why the bombing should continue.
That's what I said is the operational strategy. The same mistake that the army made during the time of Boko Haram, that's the same mistake they are making with the bandits.
But as we close this segment now, we want to talk about this. It has been on the pipeline. 400 BDC operators. Finally, they are taking them to courts. You said it.
In the last few weeks we've been asking. We've been piling pressure.
This happened in Dubai, and they
provided us with the evidence that we need.
So, and the federal government just went silent at a point in time. Now they are saying they are taking them to court. Good news.
In fact, it's taking too long. If something happened in the first quarter of the year, and we are just taking them to court now, I don't understand why it's taking so long. But the good thing is, at least we are taking them to court now.
But it's better late than never. Because you see, financial crime is not like a normal violence that you do. This is a financial crime. And it's important for government to be very, because the terms for financial crime is very low. So it's important for government to be able to have all their facts together. What is important is that they are taking them to court. Because part of the problem that we have in Boko Haram, part of the problem is that the funding is not from here. All these rich Arabs who believe in this Islamic fundamentalism, they are always straighting money down to these people. And that money comes from these Borodoshan people. So if government will have evidence and they are taking them to court now, it's a very good news. It's better late than never.
All right. We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. This is Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.